The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3, and let's talk to one of our hospitality proprietors in our fair region from Tuatara Brewing, the manager of the craft experience team. It's Blair Harley. G'day, Blair.
Damian, how's things?
Very well, mate. How are you doing at this time?
Good. Yeah, really well, thanks. Busy and certainly interesting times, but doing really well.
Excellent. I know a lot of us are going through some crazy times at the moment, probably more so the hospitality industry and the production of everything in the background. But first and foremost, what we like to do on the show is just get a story and Tuatara's story and yourself. It's a good one. So in your own words, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your journey with Tuatara Brew?
Absolutely. Look, I think the Tuatara story is a classic kind of New Zealand number 8 wide sort of tale, and started with Carl and Simon Vesta back in the 2000s, early 2000s, and essentially Carl was a really avid home brewer, and did this amazing sell job on his wife Simone to actually start up a brewery up in a little farm up in the Rikarangi Valley. And things have just grown from there. And Carl, his background is an electrical engineer. He's got an amazingly scientific mind, and so the intricacies of brewing and constructing brews was something that really suited him, but something that he was also really passionate about. And I guess that that was kind of the crux of it, is just having someone who had this this wonderful sort of natural talent for creating beers, and this passion to start a business and just have a go. And I think that's a really kind of classic New Zealand story. And it was very much a family enterprise. Simone and their 3 kids have worked in the business, certainly in the early days. Their kids' friends all played a really significant role. Family friends contributed a lot to getting that business up and running in those early days. And they say sort of timing is everything. And I think one of the big advantages for Tuatara was just the timing of things. Carl just managed to get things, and Carl and Simone and the other business partners managed to get things going at the right time, just to catch that craft wave as it was really taking off in New Zealand. And I think they probably had quite a bit of influence over getting craft established in the Wellington region initially, and then being a really key part of the growth that we have seen for craft. So it was, I guess, in terms of my journey, it was a business that I'd sort of watched with some enthusiasm and seen how it was going, and I actually approached them in 2012 about opportunities, and took some time. There was a few conversations, but managed to join Tuatara about halfway through 2012 as national sales manager. And it's just been incredible. Incredible, firstly, to have the opportunity to have a role like that locally. Really fortunate, because there's not a heap of them around. And also just to be part of it. It was just such a cool business. It was such great fun, and it continues to be a lot of fun. So it's been a pretty amazing ride.
Amazing. Did you, I know I didn't, did you see the boom of the craft beer revolution? Yeah,
look, certainly we were really acutely aware of what was happening overseas, particularly in the US. And, in general terms, the New Zealand market follows global trends rather than is ahead of them. So we felt that there was always a really strong opportunity, and particularly with the number of people, we're wonderful travellers, New Zealanders, and the number of people coming back from overseas who have been exposed to beer, because the New Zealand beer scene back through the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was pretty boring. The beers were all very stock standard, sort of regionally based. There wasn't a lot of differentiation in the market. So I think for a lot of people coming back from overseas, having experienced some of the European beer styles, seeing what was emerging in the States, I think a lot of people recognised that there was opportunities there for this market to grow. So, we were just, I guess, again, timing. Fortunate to be able to join that wave and help ride that wave through to where we are now.
Absolutely. I love how you tell the story, the classic number 8 wire in the shed out the back kind of thing, of how it all started. But how did it get pretty recognisable that it is to today?
Well, I think we were really fortunate early on. Carl and Simon partnered up with a couple of really smart marketers who did a really good job of sort of guiding them around the brand and that brand identity.
Right.
And one of the things that the business was was sort of very dear to their heart, I guess, right from the start, was that it needed to embody New Zealandness. And so I think the name Tuatara, the original sort of imagery, which on the bottle cap, which was taken. I don't know if you remember the old 5-cent coin. Yeah. New Zealand 5-cent coin, which had the Tuatara image on. That was featured in some of the early sort of marketing, and I think it just had that connection. It's a very wonderfully New Zealand name, so people have embraced that. The Wellington region being the home of craft beer in New Zealand, very much that was where the early adoption of craft happened in this country. So we were able to tap into that opportunity as well, and it all just kind of, I think you need a little bit of luck, and I think at times you make your own luck, and I think a lot of those things just lined up really well. That the brand resonated with people. The beer was good. It's all very well having a good brand, but if the liquid in the bottle isn't up to scratch, that's a bit of a problem. So I think good branding, great product, and and just a lot of hard work.
Amazing. Hey, let's talk about that marketing for a bit. Going from the classic 5-cent piece Tuatara to what it is now, but also the evolution of the bottle, because your bottle's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that bottle's iconic.
Yes.
And it is a wonderful sort of embodiment, I guess, of the brand. And it was a really, really amazing project, actually. OI Glass, based up in Auckland, where most of the glass for New Zealand is manufactured. It was just a fantastic example of collaboration of a very, very large organisation being prepared to work with a very small organisation to help achieve this outcome. And they've used, so we were able to do that. We were able to work with those guys, which helped us from a cost perspective, because if we'd just gone into it on our own, to do the molds and to make a bespoke bottle, very complex and expensive process. So we were very, very fortunate to have the support of OI through that process. And I guess the benefit for them is they've then had this wonderful example of what they can do that they've been able to use to market their business globally. So I think just an amazing example of two businesses coming together and working together for this really cool outcome.
Absolutely. And tell us the process. How long are we talking from start of the beer to the end product?
Yeah, so generally 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And that was always our mantra in the early days, is that we were only ever 4 weeks away from our next best-selling beer. Look, it varies a little bit depending on the style. Yeah. But generally 3 to 4 weeks. Like some of the lighter beers, the more lager styles. So lager, actually, I'm not a German speaker, but roughly translated, lagering is the process of storing the beer. So you store it chilled, and that the way a lager yeast works, that helps to develop the particular flavours and characteristics of that beer style. So your lager style beers, you will generally will take longer to get them to the best condition. Your pale ales and your stouts and some of those Belgian beers, they're a little bit shorter time frame. So roughly 3 weeks for those. So, but yeah, essentially 4 weeks is kind of what we work our brew schedule around.
Brilliant. Hey, mate, let's get to the real stuff now. Well, that was all the real stuff. But, of course, we've had a global pandemic. Businesses have halted to a standstill, left, right, and centre. The hospitality trade has been, big time hit with no bars or restaurants or anything open for that period of time. How was Tuatara affected? You guys were a pretty busy place down in Paraparaumu with concerts and everything before then. How did it hit you guys?
Yeah, look, we've certainly had a big hit, and we're really, really conscious. There's still a big impact to a lot of the our customers, our suppliers, and there's still a lot of uncertainty things out there. So it's really interesting times still. But I guess we've been incredibly fortunate that we were classified as an essential business because we supply to supermarkets. So that allowed us to keep the brewery open. We actually closed the tap room down there before lockdown. We were very conscious of protecting the bubble around our brew team. If we had someone in that brew team go down sick, then that potentially have to close the place down. So we were and we've continued to be very protective of that bubble around the team. And so even now, whilst we've got the tap room back open, we're only open outside of brewery operational hours, so that we just maintain the integrity of that bubble for as long as we feel we need to. So we were lucky. We've been able to keep brewing the whole way through. We took a significant hit initially with the loss of the on-premise trade. So our volume is split roughly 60-40, so 60% in retail through supermarkets and bottle stores, 40% through the on-premise through bars and cafes. So the loss of that 40% straight off the bat was a big hit. But what we've seen is a real surge in grocery, and in fact we've been, I guess, incredibly grateful because the performance that we've had and the sales that we've had far exceeded what we were anticipating going into lockdown. So that's been a real positive. That's been a real positive for the team in terms of keeping everybody busy and keeping everybody working hard. But yeah, certainly just really conscious that there's a lot of the people who who we deal with on a day-to-day basis haven't been in such a fortunate position.
Yeah, they haven't. Hey, mate. People have been pivoting. People have been adapting to this. They've changed some business concepts or the things that they produce on a daily basis. I know you guys have kept busy, but have you been experimenting? Have you been keeping busy behind the scenes as well with this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess in some ways, that lockdown period did provide a little bit of opportunity for some tinkering and some playing around. So look, we've got some exciting new beers that we're rolling out at the tap room at the moment. We've got the fresh hop. So you may recall from just prior to lockdown, we did a big trip down to Nelson to the hop harvest for our fresh hop beer, and that was a really it's a really fascinating process and I guess journey that you go through to do that fresh hop. So we go down, we help the harvest, fly the hops back up to the brewery, get them straight in the kettle, and the beer that comes out the other end just has this amazing intensity that you just don't get through the rest of the year. And so we've got this Green Eye, our fresh hop hazy IPA, really luscious, juicy, using Motueka hops from down the Nelson region. So that's just been going. It's been selling up a storm down at the tap room. It's been amazing. We've brewed a ginger ale, so just a really nice, light, refreshing ale, but lovely ginger character. And we've also sort of pushed the boat out a wee bit. We've done a double milkshake IPA, so we use a bit of lactose and use mango and passion fruit in that. So a big, bold IPA, but got this lovely, that lactose gives it its really lovely sort of silky mouthfeel. And then you get this really lovely, rich fruit character coming through with the mango and passion fruit. So, so a couple of new and really interesting beers for people to get down to the tap room and have a crack at.
Brilliant. Where to next for you guys from this, mate? Post, well, it's not post, but the aftermath of COVID-19.
It's a good question. Look, and there's still a lot of uncertainty about things. But I guess what's been really heartening is that we've seen great, I guess, loyalty and consumer loyalty around the brand. The Tuatara's come through it in really good shape. So that gives us, I guess, confidence just in terms of a really strong platform to build from beyond this. But I think the key, the basics don't change. You've got to look after your customers, so we've got to make sure we continue to service our customers really well. There's a massive focus, as always, around quality and ensuring that, that every beer that comes out of the brewery down there gives the consumer the experience that they're looking for, because it is such a competitive industry now. The margin for error is a lot less. People are a lot less tolerant than what they were, 8 or 10 years ago. And there's such great, great other beers out there that you've really got to fight hard to hang on to your share. So for us, it's just about continuing to do the little things really well, and looking to, just as we've been talking about, looking for those new and interesting and fun beers to do that just keep people engaged, keep people experimenting, I guess, and just keep getting people to think a little bit differently about beer. We've just had this mantra the whole way through of don't just open a beer, open your mind, and that's just about just getting people to think differently about beer, whether it's the occasions they enjoy it in, the flavours and the ingredients that go into it. So we just got to keep living that day to day. Absolutely.
Hey Blair, lastly, where can the people find you? How can they get in touch?
Yeah, so look, I think the best thing is if they don't know where we are, to check things out on Facebook. We're located in the heart of Tuatara Brewing, down on Sheffield Street there. Got the tap room there, which is open Wednesdays through to Sundays. Great little food offering, some nice platters and some fantastic pizzas and a great range of beers, and it's just a really cool little place for people to come and hang out. And it was fantastic, just the amount of, I guess, the support and I guess outreach that we got from our locals, and it's been amazing just to see that the team there reconnecting with the locals coming back in. But really interesting, we've seen a real surge actually in visitors from Wellington as well, which is really exciting. Seeing people, I guess, living that message of get out, explore your own country, support local, all those messages, we sort of feel like those are we're seeing the benefit of that at the tap room, which has been amazing. So we're really excited for how things are tracking.
Awesome stuff. Well, I appreciate your time today, Blair from Tuatara Brew. Go well, my friend, and I'll come and see you guys real soon.
Damian, we look forward to it. Much appreciated.